Okay, so good afternoon, students of CS 6200, IT 6201, and CS 6206. Okay, again, welcome to our virtual class for Principles of Operating Systems and its applications. So right now, our topic is about installing, upgrading, and migrating to Windows 7. The module overview, preparing to install Windows 7, performing a clean installation of Windows 7, upgrading and migrating to Windows 7, performing image-based installation of Windows 7, configuring application compatibility. So on your lesson 1, preparing to install Windows 7. The key features, additions, the hardware requirements for installing Windows 7, the advantages of using 64-bit editions of Windows 7, options for installing Windows 7. So Windows 7, it is the Microsoft Windows operating system released commercially in October year 2009 as the successor to Windows Vista. So it is an operating system that Microsoft has produced for use on personal computers. So allow your computer to manage software and perform essential tasks. So the key features of Windows 7 are categorized as follows. So we have usability, security, multi-tier data protection, reliability and performance, deployment, manageability, productivity. So when it comes to the most widely used operating system, Windows 7 is at the top of the list. So in addition to its functionality and business-oriented programs, the Windows 7 has many useful features that are unknown to general users who only care about word processing and internet browsing. Windows 7 includes many features that enable users to be more productive. So it also provides a higher level of reliability and increases computer security when compared to the previous versions of Windows. So one of the main design goals of Windows 7 is to help users work more productively and to simplify a user's ability to carry out a common task. So Windows 7 includes tools to simplify users' ability to organize, search for, and view information. So it enables them to focus on the most important aspects of the job. So Windows 7 communication and its mobility and networking features help users connect to people, information, and devices by using simple tools. So Windows 7 is built on a fundamentally secure platform, so based on the Windows Vista Foundation. It includes numerous security features and improvements that protect client computers from the latest threats, including worms, viruses, and malicious software like malware. So the Windows 7 supports data protection at multiple levels, such as document, file, directory, computer, and network levels. So Windows 7 takes advantage of modern computing hardware, so running more reliably and providing more consistent performance than previous Windows versions. So some of the reasons for reliability and performance improvements include, first, the applications are more reliable because they can recover from deadlock situations, and improved error reporting enables developers to fix common problems. Second, Windows 7 includes the Startup Repair tool. Third, Windows 7 helps detect and recover failing hard disks and memory. Fourth, the auto-tuning network stack of Windows 7 provides improved performance by analyzing the available bandwidth and using it more efficiently. Fifth, the fragmentation runs in the background to help maintain this performance. So the Windows 7 is deployed by using an image, which makes the deployment process more efficient due to the following factors. So the Windows 7 installation is based on the Windows image. So the Windows 7 is modularized, which makes customization and deployment of the image simpler. So Windows 7 uses extensible markup language, which is the XML. So deploying Windows 7 by using Windows deployment services in Windows Server. So it is optimized with multicast with multiple stream transfer and dynamic driver provisioning. So consolidated tool for servicing and managing image in deployment, image servicing, and management. So improvements in the user state migration tool, which is the USMT. So migrating the user state is made more efficient with hard link migration. So in Windows 7, hundreds of new group policy settings allow users to configure and control the desktop environment centrally. So the improved task scheduler increases the IT professional's ability to automate tasks because it reduces the time required to manage the desktop and decreases the likelihood of manual errors. So like event viewer, so it has multiple views and enables you to attach a task to an event. Also by using features such as the Windows eventing infrastructure and much clearer explanations for events, you can troubleshoot problems by using the event logs more effectively. So Windows 7 improvements to the user interface help users and IT professionals increase their productivity. So users can find what they want and can optimize their desktops by turning on necessary accessibility features. So Windows 7 includes an integrated search feature known as Windows Search. So it offers significant performance improvements, making it quicker and simpler for your users to locate the documents. The editions of Windows 7. So the major release of the Microsoft Windows operating system available in 6 different editions. So we have Starter, Home Basic, Home Premium, Professional, Enterprise, and Ultimate. So only Home Premium, Professional, and Ultimate were widely available at retailers. So the other editions focus on other markets such as the software development world or enterprise use. So all editions support 32-bit CPUs and all editions except Starter support 64-bit CPUs. So 64-bit installation media are not included in Home Basic Edition packages, but can be obtained separately from Microsoft. According to Microsoft, the features for all editions of Windows 7 are stored on the machine. So regardless of which edition is in use. So there are 6 editions of the Windows 7 operating system. The different versions are the Windows 7 Starter operating system, so designed for ease of use. The Windows 7 Home Basic operating system, designed for ease of use and includes a larger feature set. The Windows 7 Home Premium operating system, designed for home computers and includes many multimedia functions. The Windows 7 Professional operating system, designed for office computers and includes advanced networking features. The Windows 7 Enterprise operating system designed for large corporations. The Windows 7 Ultimate operating system, the most powerful and versatile version. The hardware requirements for installing Windows 7. So Microsoft recommends the following minimum system requirements to make sure you get all the benefits of Windows 7. So Windows 7 system requirements, 1 gigahertz or faster, 32-bit or 64-bit processor, 1 gigabyte of RAM or 32-bit or 2 GB RAM or 64-bit. 16 GB available disk space or 32-bit or 20 GB 64-bit. DirectX 9 graphics processor with WDDM 1.0 or higher driver. So if you are not sure with or which features and additions of Windows 7 will run on your existing PC, the Windows Upgrade Advisor can help. The advantages of using 64-bit editions of Windows 7. So take advantage of 64-bit processors, improve performance, more memory, improve device support, improve security. And its limitation does not support the 16-bit Windows on Windows WoW environment. So the major advantage of using Windows 7 64-bit is that the 64-bit version allows your computer to have vastly more RAM. So which is where a computer stores running programs and open files. So Windows 7 32-bit is limited to 4 gigabytes of RAM. So while Windows 7 64-bit can use between 8 gigabytes and 192 gigabytes, depending on the edition. So the primary disadvantages of Windows 7 64-bit stems from the relative novelty of 64-bit architectures. While supercomputers and servers have been 64-bit since the 1970s, 64-bit processors have only been available for normal desktop and laptop systems since 2003 and became widespread much more recently. So Windows 7 64-bit requires special drivers for all hardware attached to the system. So in order to use Windows 7 64-bit, the computer must have a 64-bit processor, so which is physically different from a 32-bit processor. So in order to take full advantage of Windows 7 64-bit, you will also need to have more than 4 gigabytes of RAM. So generally, 64-bit is the way to go. The memory requirements of software applications are always rising, and the market share of 32-bit system is diminishing. So you can run 64-bit software on Windows 7 32-bit. So unable to use many programs. The only reason to stick with Windows 7 32-bit is if you have a non-compatible device that's absolutely mission critical and can be replaced with a newer model. So there are 3 options for installing Windows 7. So first, clean installation. Install Windows 7 on a new partition. Replace an existing operating system on a partition. Second, upgrade installation. Replace an existing version of Windows with Windows 7. All users' applications, files, and settings are retained. Third, migration. So move files and settings from an old operating system to Windows 7, side by side or wipe and load. So most of the time, a Windows 7 clean install means to remove an existing operating system and replace it with a fresh or clean installation of Windows 7. So in other words, it's the same, it is the erase everything and start from a scratch. So a procedure referred to as a clean install or sometimes as a custom install. So a clean install is the best way to solve very serious Windows 7 problems. So like a virus infection, you can't get rid of completely, or maybe some kind of Windows issue that you can't seem to solve with normal troubleshooting. Performing a clean install of Windows 7 is also usually a better idea than upgrading from an older version of Windows. So since a clean install is a true start over from scratch, you don't risk inheriting any buggy situations from your previous installation. To be 100% clear, the right procedure to follow if you want to erase whatever you have and install Windows 7, you want to reinstall Windows 7, you want to install Windows 7 on a new hard drive. So the recommended and easiest way to get the service pack is to turn on automatic updating in Windows Update in Control Panel and wait for Windows 7 to notify you that the SP is ready to install. So it takes about 30 minutes to install, and you will need to restart your computer about halfway through the installation. So before you begin, first check if your PC is 32-bit or 64-bit. You will need to know if your PC is running a 32-bit or 64-bit version of Windows 7. So select the Start button, right-click Computer, and then select Properties. So the version of Windows 7 is displayed next to System Type. You need also check the disk space requirements. So check to make sure your PC has enough free disk space to install the service pack. So the installation method is Windows Update. You need also back up important files. It's good idea to back up your important files, photos and videos to an external hard disk, USB flash drive, or the cloud before installing the update. Plug in and connect to the internet. So make sure your PC is plugged into the power and you are connected to the internet. And also disable antivirus software. So some antivirus software might prevent the SP from installing or slow down the installation. You can temporarily disable your antivirus software before the installation. So if you do so, make sure you are aware of the risks that might be involved and enable the antivirus software as soon as the SP is done installing. So installing Windows 7 SP using Windows Update. So if your PC is set to automatically install updates, you'll be prompted by Windows Update to install. So you have to follow the instructions to install the update. So to manually install the service pack from Windows Update, select the Start button, all programs, then Windows Update. So in the left pane, select Check for Updates. So if any important updates are found, select the link to view available updates. So in the list of updates, select Service Pack for Microsoft Windows and then select OK. So select the install updates. You might be asked for an admin password or to confirm your choice. You have to follow the instructions to install. So after the SP is installed, sign into your PC. You might see a notification indicating whether the update is successful. So if you disabled your antivirus software before the installation, make sure you turn it back on. So before the Windows 7 migration, there are several things to consider before starting your migration. So there are two primary ways to migrate away from Windows 7. You can either upgrade your existing workstations in place or migrate to new hardware. If your current hardware supports Windows 10, like for example, and if you do not need to change Windows editions, like Home to Pro or 32-bit to 64-bit, the migration part will be simple. So Windows 10 supports full in-place upgrade from Windows 7. So preserving your applications, settings, and files in place. So the only considerations would be application compatibility and helping your users adjust to the new Windows interface. So if you do not need to transfer to different hardware or wipe and reinstall your current systems from home to pro or 32-bit to 64-bit cross-domain upgrades, the migration process will require additional effort. So what to migrate? So we have different environments called for different migration coverage. So the typical approaches are first, total migration. Second, minimal standard set of applications plus migration of custom applications, settings, and data. Third, golden image plus migration of profile and data only. Fourth, no migration at all. So migration may be skipped entirely and everybody gets the same workstation. So this is typical in task-oriented environments such as in call centers or dun sa mga kiosk-based workstations where the machines are not personalized or used by many different users and no real migration is required. So how to migrate from Windows 7 to Windows 10? So there are two primary ways you can perform the migration, either directly from one computer to another over the network or indirectly. So using shared network storage or NAS or even a USB drive. So this option works for wipe and reinstall on same machine as well. So in your lesson 2, performing a clean installation of Windows 7. So what are the considerations for a clean installation? The methods for performing clean installation, the common installation errors, configuring the computer name, and domain word group settings. When do you typically perform a clean installation of Windows? So the methods for performing clean installation. First, running setup.exe from DVD. Second, running setup.exe from a network share. Third, installing by using an image. So before you can start the installation of Windows 7, you need to create a bootable USB or DVD of Windows 7. So install the Windows 7 USB DVD download tool. So first is to click open the Windows 7 USB DVD download tool installation file. So when you are prompted to either save the file to disk or run it, choose run. So once it's installed, open the program and find your ISO file. So the USB DVD tool will now create a bootable USB or DVD. So the step 1, boot from the Windows 7 DVD or USB device. So to begin the Windows 7 clean install process, you will need to boot from the Windows 7 USB or DVD if you are using a Windows 7 DVD, or boot from a USB device if your Windows 7 installation files are located on a flash drive or other external USB drive. So can't wait for Windows 7 installation files to load. Now Windows is loading files. So you have to choose language and other preferences. Click the Install Now button, and then you have to accept the Windows 7 license terms. Choose the type of Windows 7 installation to complete. So the type of installation, we have the upgrade and the custom advanced. So click on the custom advanced button. It will show the Windows 7 advanced drive options. And you can delete the partition Windows is installed on. So delete other operating system related partitions. So you have to choose a physical location to install Windows 7 on. So wait while Windows 7 is installed, the machine will restart several times. So wait for Windows 7 setup to complete. So you have to enter the Windows 7 product key. Now your Windows 7 clean install is complete. So what potential issues might you encounter when installing Windows? So most common errors in the Windows installation process. So during the Windows installation process, you must have encountered errors many times, like the computer cannot find the hard drive when installing Windows. The hard drive is converted to dynamic format. So wrong hard drive format or GPT disk error. Cannot click next during Windows installation. Driver load error. The Windows cannot file required error message. And error code while installing Windows. So those are some of the common errors while installing Windows 7. So on your lesson 3, upgrading and migrating to Windows 7. So what are the considerations for upgrading and migrating to Windows 7? Identifying the valid upgrade paths. Determining the feasibility of an upgrade using Windows Upgrade Advisor. Process for upgrading to Windows 7. Tools for migrating user data and settings. Process for migrating to Windows 7. Migrating user settings and data by using the WET. So the considerations for upgrading and migrating to Windows 7. So in upgrade, does not require the reinstallation of applications, does not require additional storage space, does not require replacing existing computer hardware, and is the recommended solution in home or small office scenarios. Whereas in migrate, requires a reinstallation of applications, typically requires more storage space, typically requires replacing existing computer hardware, is the recommended solution to achieve a standardized environment in a large enterprise scenarios. So Windows upgrade and migration considerations. So the files and application settings can be migrated to new hardware, so running the Windows operating system, or they can be maintained during an operating system upgrade on the same computer. So you can upgrade from an earlier version of Windows, which means you can install the new version of Windows and retain your applications, files, and settings as they were in your previous version of Windows. So if you decide to perform a custom installation of Windows instead of an upgrade, your applications and settings will not be maintained. So your personal files and all Windows files and directories will be moved to a Windows old folder. So you can access your data in the Windows old folder after Windows setup is complete. So migration tools are available to transfer settings from one computer that is running Windows to another. So these tools transfer only the program settings, not the programs themselves. So the user state migration tool, which is the USMT, so it is an application intended for administrators who are performing large-scale automated deployments. So identifying the valid upgrade paths. So Windows 95, Windows 98, Windows ME, Windows NT4, and Windows 2000. So for only clean install, perform only clean install, whereas the Windows XP, Windows Vista RTM can perform clean install plus migration, whereas the Windows Vista SP1, SP2. So in place upgrade, clean install, migration to Windows 7. So Windows Anytime Update enables you to upgrade to a higher edition of Windows 7. Well, you can upgrade from Windows 7 and Windows 8 or Windows 8.1 to Windows 10. You will not be able to do it from Windows 2000, XP, or Vista. So therefore, migration is recommended for the latter. So it is interesting to note that in the first year of the release of Windows 10, the upgrade from Windows 7 and Windows 8 or 8.1 to Windows 10 was available for free. So through Windows Update. So list the Windows versions that can be upgraded or migrated to Windows 10. So the previous Windows version, we have the Windows 2000, Windows XP, Windows Vista. So no, cannot be upgrade to Windows 10. And yes, can be migrate to Windows 10. Whereas the Windows 7, Windows 8, Windows 8.1. So yes, it can be upgrade to Windows 10, but no migration to Windows 10. Determining the feasibility of an upgrade using Windows Upgrade Advisor. The Windows Upgrade Advisor is a downloadable application that helps Windows users identify which edition of Windows 7 meets their needs. Use Windows Upgrade Advisor to first provide suggestions about necessary hardware updates to install and run the appropriate edition and features of Windows 7. Second, provide upgrade guidance to Windows 7 and its requirements. .NET 2.0, the MSXML6, 20 MB free HDD, administrator privileges, and internet connection. So a user downloads and uses the Windows 7 Upgrade Advisor to generate a report on a PC. So that is being considered for an operating system upgrade. So what information will the report contain? So it has recommended changes to hardware, recommended changes to file systems, recommended changes to user permissions, and recommended changes to directory structures. The process for upgrading to Windows 7. So first is to evaluate, backup, upgrade, verify, and update. So once your organization has decided and it's ready to upgrade to Windows 7 and has verified that it meets the technical requirements, so it's time to begin planning for the upgrade. So before you begin the basic healthy and secure computing steps, so it will help ensure a smooth upgrade. So first, take a data inventory. So during an upgrade, data can move or get lost. So it's important to know where your data is stored, especially for programs that don't save their data to user profile folder, such as to my documents folder. Second, make a physical copy of all critical system-related information. So before upgrading, verify that important information like your internet protocol address, hardware component make and model, and software license keys are printed out and available to you. Third, remove spyware and run your antivirus program. So you don't want to carry malicious software along with you when you upgrade. And fourth, clean up data. So clean up your drive to ensure you have an optimized system and maximum free space to work with during the upgrade. Fifth, check your hard disk. So before installing a new operating system, you should always check your hard disk for errors. Sixth, defrag. So the Windows 7 installation process defragments your hard drive. So, but doing so beforehand may save some time. Seventh, back up your data. So tools for migrating user data and settings. So identify which components are to be migrated to the new operating system. So you can use one of the following migration tools. We have the Windows Easy Transfer, which is the WET, and we have the User State Migration Tool, which is the USMT 4.0. So with Windows Easy Transfer, It is a software wizard for transferring files and settings from one computer that is running Windows to another. So it helps you select what to move to your new computer, enables you to set which migration method to use, and then performs the transfer. So when the transfer has completed, the Windows Easy Transfer reports shows you what was transferred and provides a list of programs you might want to install on your new computer. So with Windows Easy Transfer, files and settings can be transferred using a network share, a USB flash drive, or the Easy Transfer cable. However, you cannot use a regular USB cable to transfer files and settings with Windows Easy Transfer. So an Easy Transfer cable can be purchased on the web from your computer manufacturer or at an electronics store. So you can use the USMT to automate migration during a large deployments of the Windows operating system. So the USMT uses configurable migration rule, which is the .xml files to control exactly which user accounts, user files, operating system settings, and application settings are migrated and how they are migrated. So you can use the user state migration tool for both side-by-side migrations, where one piece of hardware is being replaced, or wipe and load or refresh migrations when only the operating system is being upgraded. So the process for migrating to Windows 7, so first is to back up, install Windows 7, update, then install applications, then restore. So migrating user settings and data by using the Windows Easy Transfer. So it is the recommended tool for scenarios in which you have a small number of computers to migrate. So to migrate by using the Windows Easy Transfer, first store the Windows 7 WET files to be used on the source computer. Second, migrate files and settings from the source computer to the destination computer by using, again, Windows Easy Transfer cable, network, and removable media or a network share. So with Windows Easy Transfer, lets you copy files and settings from one computer to another. So no information is deleted from your old computer. So you can transfer user accounts, documents, music, pictures, email, internet favorites, videos, and more. So when the transfer is done, you will see a list of what was transferred, programs you might want to install on your new computer, and links to other programs that you might want to download. Okay, so thank you for listening. So have a nice day to all of you. So I'm Dean Jane.